Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Animo Compton Charter School. My name is Ly'on Garcia.
And I am Elijah Mingo. We are sixth graders in Miss McFall's English class.
With us today is Brandon George Washington, aka WriterBoy.
He is our first speaker in our modern technology unit. Our focus question for the unit is, how is modern technology helpful and harmful to society?
Please join us welcoming our speaker, WriterBoy. He is currently working with Netflix on a YouTube series called Netflix Dreams.
For the students and teachers in the audience, please remember to keep yourself muted and type your questions in the chat.
Welcome to our classroom, WriterBoy. Today we will begin our conversation. Please tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you become an executive producer with Netflix?
Um, well, Thank you guys for having me. I became an executive producer from starting at the age of you guys, writing and filming and using my little iPhone to make my little short films and films that I thought would change the world back then. It took me a couple of years, but I'm changing the world now. But so yeah, that's how I started. I actually started, if you guys know who King Vader is, I actually started with King Vader, creating videos, skits on Vine and everything, and we expanded from there.
Thank you. The next question comes from one of our classmates, Rhea Dotson. She was wondering, why did you choose this job?
I don't know. I just love what I do. I love writing. I love creating worlds that didn't exist, and then bringing them to life. So I genuinely like creating and writing and making something more. I'm not only the executive producer, but I'm the writer of the Netflix show. So
Okay. What or who was your inspiration to pursue a career as an executive producer?
um, Spike Lee, Lee Daniels, and Tyler Perry. Hopefully, you guys know who those amazing men are. All of them created amazing shows and films.
In our school, we've been learning about having a growth mindset when we encounter a challenge. Can you tell us a moment where you failed at something? How did you move forward?
So I'm gonna give you guys a I'm gonna give you guys a little secret. The first episode that we ever did with Netflix Dreams, it took us a week to film, and it was like really amazing. It was dope. We all came together, boom, did it. I flew back home, and then I got a call from Vader saying we lost the footage, and I'm like, what do you mean you can't just lose footage? And he said, yeah, the hard drive corrupted, and we lost all of the footage, and so I had to figure out what I was going to do. Was I going to just be like, okay, call Netflix and like, okay, it's done? Or was I going to pick up, figure it out, fly back out there with my entire team and make it happen? That's what we did. That's what we did. Thankfully, I had people ready to work like I'm ready.
What kind of technology do you use for your job? Has the technology ever failed, and how did you solve the problem?
Yeah, like the hard job failed miserably. And we just what we did for then on, we have a person, a job that it's their job to just transfer the footage. They just sit there and transfer footage. Don't do nothing else. Don't touch nothing else. Talk to nothing else. Just transfer the footage. So that's how we changed that. But the technology that we use Reds, Aries, of course, Adobe Premiere Pro, which is an editing software to edit films and everything like that. But yeah, that's what we use. Start off with iPhone though.
I noticed you wrote your first book at 17. Please tell us, what is your inspiration when writing a movie that keeps the audience engaged?
Um, I want to change lives, you guys, with my films and who I am and what I want to do. So, with me, with my writing, my inspiration is you guys. My inspiration is everyone else, the world. I want to keep you on the edge of your seat. I want to make you laugh, make you cry, but at the end of the day, leave you with a message. I want to change lives. So that's my inspiration with giving that entertainment. So that way it's like, ooh, and then
We will now open up the floor to ask two questions we received in the chat. Ms. Conde, do you mind helping us to choose two questions from the chat?
It would be my pleasure to help you, Ly'on. We don't currently have two questions in the chat, so I am going to ask that we please get two questions in the chat. Okay, thank you, Zahir. So we have our two questions. So Zahir wants to know, how many movies have you made?
made one short film, two feature films, 2 television series, and I'm working on like my debut like big feature film called Dream. So yeah, so that's 2 films, 2 shows, and 1 short film.
And then our second question is from Miss Fields, and she wants to know, what is the hardest part of your job?
The hardest part of my job, because I am the leader, and so everyone is looking at me, the hardest part of my job is figuring things out. Like, I learned a long time ago at a young age that I have to figure things out with life. It's not about what happens to you, it's about what you do after those things happen. So it's about figuring it out. And I think that's the hardest job. But I think that's why I'm so successful too, because I figure things out in life. I'm not just gonna sit there and take it. I gotta figure it out. Okay, something messed up. Okay, all right. Well, this is our option. This is our second option. This is our third option. This happened. Okay, second option, third option. Okay, now this option too. It's about figuring life out.
Thank you so much. So as a continuation of that question, Ms. McFall would like to know, what does it take to be a leader?
Courage. It takes courage because everyone isn't going to. It takes courage. It takes strength to be a leader. It takes putting your team first before you. That's what real leaders do. It's not about them being like, I am the king and this is my table. It's I am a king that bought this table, prepared it for everyone else. It's also you have to have the answer. Everyone else on your team can say, I don't know. Then they look at you and you have to know. You can't say, I don't know. You have to know, you have to figure it out. So it does take a lot. It takes a lot of courage.
Thank you. And we have time for more questions. So we're just going to keep going with the questions for a little bit longer. Jaylenice Montes would like to know, what do you like about making movies?
I like watching others watch my content. Like, we did a premiere for the Netflix Dreams episode, and when I tell you people was, and if you guys haven't checked it out, definitely check it out. If you watch Cobra Kai on Netflix, you're like our version of Cobra Kai. We have like a lot of stars from like back in the Vine days, from Reggie Cruz, Heartstop Lucas, King Vader. We have so many people in it. It's really dope. But I like watching others be entertained by what I just created. I love it. I love watching them laugh and scream and the whole 9 yards. I just love that. I love that part.
Wonderful. Thank you. We have another question from one of our students, Matthew Gutierrez, and he would like to know, how did you become famous?
I don't think I'm famous yet, but it was hard work. I knew what I wanted to do in life. Everybody has a storyline in life. We all get to choose our storyline and who we're going to be in life. I think at a young age, when I was you guys' age, I just kind of came up with like, okay, yeah, I'm going to be that guy that had nothing, that fought for everything, and I'm going to be that person that changed lives. And I did that. I became him. Everyone gets to choose their storyline. You can't choose what happens to you, but you can choose what you do after everything happens to you. So that's what I did. So that's how.
Thank you. And we have a question from one of our other teachers, Mr. Wynn, and he'd like to know if you were inspired by John Singleton.
Yes. Yes, I don't know why I didn't name him. Yes. But the reason why I named those other filmmakers and directors, it was because it's more of their business than the human being that they are than their art. It was seeing them come from this one place for another. So I don't know his background, so that's probably why I didn't name him. But it was seeing them come from one part of their life to another, and literally that's kind of been my bread and butter, having nothing growing up and now having the world.
That's amazing. Thank you. We have a question from one of our other students, Norman Tucker, and he would like to know if you are still making books.
I will. I will. I'm glad that you asked that, because that makes me feel like I should. Because I published my first book when I was 17, and it's dope and it's amazing. But I know I can do so much more. I have a book that I've been writing for 2 years now, and it's about it's teaching others how to do what I do or what I did, which is get their dream. Like literally a how-to on to get your dream, no matter what field you are in, no matter what you want to do in life. Yeah. So I think I'm definitely going to do that now that you said that. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. And I'm going to hand it back to Ly'on because he has a follow-up question. So go ahead, Ly'on.
One question I would really like to ask: who is John Singleton?
But John Singleton created like some of the dynamic films that you probably don't know, but my generation does know, from Boys in the Hood, Poetic Justice. Do you know what Boys in the Hood is? It iconic films that just
Isn't that the movie with Ice Cube in it?
Was Ice Cube in it? I think yeah, I think he was in that one. Oh yes, he was in the Cuban Gooding Jr. Boom, there we go. Yes, that's it. Yeah, so he created that film. He created Poetic Justice. I'm really trying to share my screen. Shaft, Four Brothers. He created, and even Baby Boy. So it's like John Singleton was like that guy of that generation, of that era. And be honest with you guys, I want to be that guy of this generation, of this era. I'm working on that. Give me about another year, and I got you.
This is from our principal, Dr. Norman, and she would like to know, what is one class you wished you would have been exposed to in middle school that would have helped you along?
Film, to be honest, we didn't have a film course or a film class. Like I mean, even though I still figured it out, YouTube figured it. Like I went to school on YouTube. I would watch how to edit and how to create from YouTube, how to write my scripts from YouTube. So I think back then, I think that would have been dope too. And then also resources on how to get it yourself. There's a new day and age. If you want to publish a book, you can do it yourself. If you want to create a film and distribute it on Amazon, you can do it yourself. So I think having a class for creators, I think, is essential in this day and age. And now YouTubers are making a lot of money, trust me. I know. Like it's a job, a career, and a fulfilling career for so many people. So many people.
Thank you. And we have a question from one of our students, Jayla Williams, and her question is, can you help young kids like us, obviously not me, this is Jayla's question, go big?
Yes. Ooh, I almost turned this entire thing off. Yes, I definitely can. But the biggest thing that I've been teaching and helping a lot of other people is that it's not me that would do that. It's you that would do that. It's if you want to create and be something more, then that's what you do. You create, and it takes time. Like if you're willing to wait, I waited 8 years to get to where I wanted to be in life. 8, but I worked the entire 8 though. I worked a lot. So if you're willing to wait for it, then beautiful. Everybody says what I do is a 1 in a million chance, and it is. But what they forget to tell you is that you get to choose if you're that 1 in a million. If you're willing to work harder than everybody else, fight harder than everybody else, sleep less than everybody else, you're that one. I wanted to be that one. So it's not difficult. It's just be ready. If you really love it, then you'll do it.
Thank you. And let me find another question from Peyton. She would like to know, what are the pros in your job?
I get to hire my friends. Like my entire production team is my friends. Like I get to create worlds that don't exist. Like I don't know anybody else's job title like that. And I get to spend time with the people that I genuinely love and care about. All of my production team, they're my friends. Like we have fun. Although we work, we wake up at 8 a.m., probably go to sleep probably like at 3 a.m. when we're in production, and then have to wake back up and start the same thing process over. Everyone's tired, they're hungry, but we're around each other, so none of that matters. and we'll eat later. And we'll sleep later. After production is over, we're gonna sleep. We'll get some nice sleep. Some nice sleep.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, Writer Boy, I have another question for you. Who supported you in your journey?
I gotta be honest with you guys. When it first started, no one, like, it wasn't like, oh, good job. It was like, what? That's so you want to write? That's what you want to do? And it's like, yeah. And it's like, oh, so you want to be a filmmaker? YouTube. And so, well, I'll say this. My mother definitely did support me. I'll say hands down. My mother was like, don't listen to anyone else. It's about what you want to do. It's about where you want to go. And so my mother has been my backbone, like, from the get-go. But a lot of family members didn't understand, didn't get it. They get it now. Everyone isn't going to see your dream. They're not going to see who you are. They're not going to see what you see in your head, because it's in your head. How could they? But once you continue to grow and bring it into the world, to fruition, they'll see. Everybody isn't meant to run the race with you. Some people are meant to watch in the stands as you run. And that's cool. That's dope. Now they see now. Everybody support me now. Everybody support me now. They see it. They get it.
What advice would you give yourself if you were a sixth grader like us, living and learning in the middle of quarantine?
The biggest advice, if I were to give myself as a sixth grader advice, I would tell myself that everything's gonna be okay. Like, don't, like, you're gonna get to where you want to go in life. You're gonna do it. You got it. Everything's gonna be okay. Advice I would give you guys is the same thing though. Everything is gonna be okay. You guys got this, and it's just beginning. Your life is just beginning, and just start it off on a good note. Figure out what you want to do, and even if you don't yet, just continue to do what you've been doing. Be the best you that you can be. And even if you lie to the world, don't lie to yourself. Like, understand who you are and what you need to improve in, what you need to build on, how you need to grow. Even if you don't tell the world that, you can tell yourself that and figure it out with yourself. But everything is going to be okay. That's what I would tell you guys and what I would tell myself.
This is the last question, Writer Boy. Do you believe in electronic devices and online access really improve our lives?
Yes, but there's pros and cons. There's pros and cons. There's sometimes that I have to get away so I can do my work and focus on me as well. There's a lot of times where I turn off my phone and just relax and be myself. Like, be with myself and in the real world, celebrate my wins here. But yeah, so I do, like, I wouldn't have a job if it wasn't for devices. I would not have a job. But I do think that they help, but it's in moderation. Anything, you can eat and you can overeat. You can drink and you can overdrink. You can even drinking water. I don't think drinking water, I mean, I guess you can, just depending on how much you consume. But anything too much can be a bad thing. My point.
Is there anything else you would like to add?
No, not at all. I think you guys are cool. I think you guys are amazing. That's really it. I think I've said everything. Just remember that you guys get to choose who you want to be in life, and you can start now. Especially, I'm 26 years old and I'm an executive of a Netflix show. If you want to do that at 26, you just start now. Start right now. That's where I'll start. Start right now. Figure it out. Start doing your stuff, and you don't need the big fancy things that Hollywood has for you. You really don't. You can start with your phone and just start creating. You don't need anyone else to tell you yes right now. You can tell yourself yes and just create and be you. Authentic.
Thank you so much for your time. We wish your best in your career. We hope you see us. I hope you're in our classroom again in the near future. And who knows, maybe you'll see us on your movie sets one day.
Yes, sir. Most definitely. I like that. That's what's up. We can make that happen. That's dope. Thank you, guys.
No problem. We'll like to see you in the near future.
Yes. Okay, I like that.
Thank you so much, WriterBoy, for joining us and for spending some time with our classroom. I did have another question. I noticed that you have your clothes very well organized behind you and your shoes as well. Can you tell us a little bit about preparation and how that ties into being successful?
Yeah, that's something that I had to deal with. I wasn't like that before, and organization is everything. Even but above it, I have sticky notes on my walls, and it's kind of like my goals, short-term and long-term goals that I'll put on my wall. And every time I accomplish a goal, I'll take it off to kind of show myself I've improved. But organization is key, and I know that it is hard sometimes, but it's a must. And every time you fall off, you just get back on. You fall off again, and you get back up again, and you continue to build and try to be as organized as you can, because it falls in with your life. And they say it takes 30 days to start a habit. Like if you look at my bed, it's made up. I do small things. At least I accomplish that first goal by making up my bed in the morning. So yeah, it definitely is essential. And the clothes I have, I couldn't afford clothes like that when I was younger, and I really wanted to dress. Like I saw suits and ties and turtlenecks and everything like that, and I never had it. And I tried so hard to be WriterBoy. When I was younger, seeing the older version of me, I was like, I want to be that. I want to do that. And I started walking like him. I started talking like him. I started doing everything I thought WriterBoy would want to do until I became WriterBoy. And now I got it. I have everything I want. Yeah.
Perfect. And last one, can you tell us about your name? Where did your nickname come from?
So I was you guys' age when I always wanted to be a writer, and I started writing. And I remember when I got to high school, my freshman year, I was like, I'm gonna be a writer. And everybody's like, okay, yeah, And it wasn't until I became a senior in high school. I was 17 years old when I actually published my book, and everyone knew who I was once that happened. And if they didn't know me by my name, Brandon, which is my legal name, they started calling me WriterBoy. And so when I left high school, I kept the name WriterBoy. I trademarked it. I started my own production company called WriterBoy Films, and I hopped into the film industry, and I won. But yeah. Yes, that's how my name WriterBoy came about.
Thank you again for coming in our classroom. Just so thankful.
No, you're welcome, man. I love your energy. Love your energy.
After class, I'm gonna watch Netflix Dreams.
Yes, definitely. Watch it, comment on it, let me know what you think about it. For real, I'm gonna be looking for your name.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, WriterBoy, for joining us today. And as our classmates mentioned, Ly'on, Garcia, and Elijah, we hope to see you again in our class in the future. You are always welcome here.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much.